Good afternoon. So this is a bit of a radical title, whether pot causes brain damage or not. And I've just heard a great medical lecture on some of the ways that the brain works, and it got me thinking. And I first just want to say I'm not against pot. I think it's a very safe drug in general, especially compared to alcohol or to other drugs out there. It's certainly an awful lot safer than alcohol, which is legal. And in small quantities, I think a lot of people have fun with it, and there's no harm done and no foul and stuff like that. Just like alcohol, really, which is used by millions and millions of people without any problems. The problem comes when people start using it too much. If people drink every single day, then it starts having changes in the brain. If people start using pot a lot, then it starts having changes in the brain. And that's not good, because our brain has evolved over, hundreds and hundreds of thousands of years to be an amazing computer, an amazing machine that's able to do an awful lot of stuff. And this particular talk was on intuition. And how does that work? How do we deal with gut feelings? Why do we even have gut feelings about what to do and how to act? And it focused on some people who've had some brain damage to a part of the brain in the frontal cortex called the ventromedial prefrontal cortex. And it turns out that this is an area of the brain that seems to integrate emotions with analytical stuff. So that when we're trying to decide what to do, whether we like somebody, whether we should do this job or that job, whether we're happy, all sorts of stuff, our brain is really amazing at integrating all of the data that we bring in, but also integrating that with the emotions. Because when we get scared or we get angry or we have other emotions, our brain feels that. And it's usually subconscious. We're not really aware of it, but the brain's integrating it all the time. And when that part of the brain is not functioning, people just can't operate as well as they normally can. And that got me thinking about what marijuana does and other drugs. These are mood-altering drugs, so they change the way your brain addresses moods. It changes the way we deal with emotions. And when people are doing that on a regular basis, they're depriving themselves of that ability for their brain to understand emotions, what's fearful, what's not, what makes me happy, what makes me afraid, what makes me lonely. How do I deal with this stuff? And a lot of it's subconscious. So they're deprived of the sort of the ability to make these gut feelings or these gut decisions. And we see that all the time with people who are on drugs or just coming off drugs. Their ability to make intuitive decisions of what's good for them, it's just not as good as it will be. We see in recovery that people get better and better knowing what to do and how to handle things. In fact, there's even a saying in AA, one of the promises of AA says, we will intuitively know how to handle situations that used to baffle us. And I see that happen all the time with people who are in long-term recovery. They just get better and better at handling situations. And I think a lot of that's that gut feeling and that ability to really have your brain integrate its emotional side with its analytical side. So it's an interesting thing. Again, I'm not against people smoking pot and doing some things if they're safe and if they're not doing it that often. But I think if people are doing anything too often, then it starts becoming, it can be a problem anyway.